Doug Dieken is the radio color analyst for the Browns. He spent 14 years as an offensive tackle for the Browns, and good to have Doug back on the show. Doug, where do we stand here trying to prepare for a playoff game that this city has waited 18 years for? The franchise has waited, and you're not going to have a head coach or one of your best offensive linemen.
It's going to be a tough task, and obviously the Steelers are getting some guys back that did not play last week. So I think, the key to the game is going to be if the Browns can establish their running game and win the turnover battle.
But also, you're losing an offensive lineman who's been to the Pro Bowl a couple times, and you lose Kevin Stefanski. What one will be more impactful? Which loss more impactful on Sunday?
Well, that's a toss-up because I think, when you look at Baker and in the pocket, if you get pressure in his face, he's not the tallest guy, so he has a little bit of a problem there. So Bitonio is stout at the line of scrimmage. But on the other hand, Kevin Stefanski has built a great relationship with Baker and, kind of brought Baker that we thought we were going to get out of what we have.
And I think Stefanski is underrated in what he's done because, he's a great play caller and he's been that calming voice, I think, for Baker Mayfield with considering what you had with Freddie Kitchens last year. What do you think has been the biggest difference in this team this year as opposed to last year?
Well, I think, we used to have a coach, Dave Adolph, who used to say, do you want to be a professional football player or you want to be a professional that plays football? And I think Kevin has turned them into a bunch of professionals that play football.
What is it, though, that you're seeing? Because it feels like there's no drama there this year.
Well, yeah, the discipline, during the coronavirus, there were some people that didn't adhere to what the rules were, so they were let go. And, he's just very calmly, maintained the respect of the football team. And, Freddie was a great guy. I would have loved to play for Freddie, but I think sometimes Freddie wanted the guys to like him rather than respect him.
How big is this? How important is this for this city and this franchise that after 18 years, they're back in the playoffs?
Oh, I mean, you could see the people walking out of the stadium last week with tears in their eyes. I mean, it's something they've waited for, and there's a generation of Browns fans that have never seen the Browns in the playoffs. And, it's been a tough pill to swallow here.
Well, you made the playoffs, I think, 4 years?
4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going against the Steelers as well, so you don't need added incentive, but it's certainly there considering what the Steelers have done to the Browns, in particular in Pittsburgh, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, when I played, we went 0-14 during my 14 years over at Three Rivers. Well, we had lost a year before and the year after I retired, so they can't blame it all on me. We stayed in every hotel in Pittsburgh trying to change the karma.
Well, the problem is Mean Joe Green was still on the other side, and you still had Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw. What was it like to go against that steel curtain?
Well, it was one of those, regardless of how good they were, you always gave it your best shot. But they, up front, obviously you talked about Joe, and then you had Dwight, and you had LC, and you had Ernie. But then behind them, you had Ham and Lambert. And they were loaded. I mean, you throw in Mel Blount in the back end and Donnie Shell. They were always physical football games. And there was one over there that we should have won. Unfortunately, the referee blew a call, and because of it, we ended up losing.
Single toughest defensive player you played against in your 14 years?
I tell you, a couple of them. I think Leroy Selman, Joe Klecko, Coy Bacon. I would say those guys were, the top of and Alvin Bethea. I mean, Alvin, I played twice a year for 13 years, and Alvin was one of the greats.
Joe Klecko's not in the Hall of Fame, is he, Doug?
No, he deserves it.
He does.
To make the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions, that's quite an accomplishment. Much like, we have Clay Matthews, who finally got into the final 15, and he played 19 years and played at a high level for 19. So hopefully Clay gets in this year.
Well, what happened is Klecko got overshadowed by Gastineau, I think. That, he kind of sucked all the attention out of that team.
Yeah, but when we came into the line of scrimmage, the one guy we were looking for was Klecko because he was a disruptive force.
Oh, man.
And he was, about 6'1" or 2, and he just pick you up and carry you back to the quarterback, and you just kind of smile and do his little pigeon-toed walk.
So how do you think this plays out on Sunday night, Doug?
Well, unfortunately, it'd be nice to know who we're going to have. And I think, we have some people in the secondary that didn't play last week that, really hurt us. So hopefully we can get Denzel Ward and back and Kevin Johnson, which would help us because, Pittsburgh has kind of struggled with the run and they've become a pass-first team, and you need all the defensive backs you can. So as the week goes on, hopefully we'll get Denzel and Kevin Johnson back.
Good luck, Doug. Thank you. We appreciate you joining us as always.
My pleasure.
That's Doug Dieken, the Browns radio color analyst, spent 14 years, Cleveland Browns offensive tackle.